This conference will now be recorded.
Good morning, friends. Welcome to goonlinetrainings.com. So, we had seen how to debug the stored procedures, and today let us understand what are the types of the stored procedures we have in SQL Server. Okay, so SQL Server has lot many varieties of stored procs, and let us see what are they. We can have user defined stored procedures. So whatever we are creating, that is user defined stored procs, and we are using them and we are creating them. And we have also got system defined stored procedures, and that sp underscore help, sp underscore help text, sp underscore or logs. So lot of stored procs which we are using knowingly or unknowingly, which are starting with sp underscore. So those are called system defined stored procedures, and system defined stored procedures are available in the master database. Okay, so these system defined databases available in the master database, but you should be able to call them from any other database. For example, I am in ibank database, still I should be able to call sp underscore help and the table name. What is sp underscore help table name? sp underscore help is a system defined stored procedures, which is a part of the master database. Clear? And we also got one more stored procedures, that is what is called extended stored procedures. That means what? Normally, stored procs will be having the SQL code. But if I wanted to perform very complex operations, for example, with the help of a SQL server, I should be able to send a mail. Or SQL Server wanted to understand what is the space in the C drive or the D drive. Okay, so I can go to a SQL Server table. I'm a SQL Server. I can access all the tables, but I cannot access the C drive. C drive is out of the SQL. D drive is out of the SQL. That we know, right? Because C drive, D drive is part of the operating system. Okay, but now I wanted to know what is the space in the C drive, what is the space in the D drive. Depends upon that. I have to, estimate whether how much of data I can take it and store it. For example, end of the day, SQL Server is going to be storing all the data in the C drive or D drive. Okay, but now with the help of an extended stored proc, so you are going to come out of the SQL and go to the Windows operating system and identify what is the space in the C drive or not. So SQL code cannot go to the Windows and do it. So what is the code you need to write? So there you have to write the SQL code as well as you have to write SQL code. So that is going to be working within the SQL server. You may write C or C++ code. So C or C++ code, when you write, this code will come out of the SQL server. That means it can go to C drive, D drive, and verify what is a sufficient, space in the C drive or not. So when any proc is having SQL code as well as the C++ code, that is what is called extended stored procedures. Okay, these procedures also part of master database, always starts with xp underscore something. Okay, now we were talking about normal system stored proc. Okay, system sps. So system sps means these are also part of in the master database only, and is always start with sp. For example, I had given you lot of things, right? sp underscore help. We were knowingly unknowingly we were using them, right? sp underscore help, we were executing them. sp underscore help text. Okay, and sp underscore logs, help logs, or log something. Lot of things we have. So anything which is starting with sp, that is a system defined stored proc only. You can say sp underscore help table name employee, you can say like that, or you can also use execute, or you can also put execute. Execute is not compulsory, but you can keep execute and help text employee, something like this. Okay, so we can have, for example, I wanted to see sp underscore help db. I wanted to see the architecture, the schemas of the database. You may give database name is ibank. Okay, you can also say exec underscore like exec space sp underscore help db. These are the stored proc. These we did not write it as sp underscore help text. You may have a view name or the stored proc name, or you may have a function name so that it can give you the complete code, right? So like that, knowingly, unknowingly, we were using all these things already. Now we can also have some more stored procs which are not a purely SQL code. It is going to be having C and C++ code. Okay, so these are going to be having as part of master DB, and master DB already we know that. So master DB will be here, right? So whenever you go the system database called master DB, here you can find lot of extended stored procs and sp underscore help stored procs. Okay, so system stored procs you should be able to get, so which will start with sp underscore add agent, add profile, and sp underscore help also you can get it. So all these things are add role. So lot of things are there, we are not using them regularly, but many people, when you go to the development, we can use lot of the stored procs regularly over there. Okay, we can see sp underscore help also. Okay, when you go down, lot of stored procs are available. Sp underscore help, this is a stored proc which we are using. If you wanted to see the code of this stored proc, you can simply go and modify. You can understand this code given by Microsoft. Okay, so now you can see this code as well. Okay, now it is there in the master database. Now it is saying this is the stored proc given by Microsoft to us, and how it is doing. Now you can understand the complex logic, what it is doing. Okay, so this is the complete logic which I have written. So where can we use sp underscore help? It is returning zero, non-zero, blah 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 also, right? So we know that, for example, I say sp underscore help table name employee table. So this is how we were using it. So it brings you all the the structure, the primary keys and foreign keys, everything it's going to be bringing. So you may write like this, or you may also keep like this, execute and like this. Okay, even we need not put execute at all. We can simply execute like this. For example, I wanted to deposit some cash of say 4,800. Now I did not put execute, but let us see whether it is going to be executing or not. It is going to be executing without having any issue. Okay, execute is not compulsory at all. Now it has got added. Now 16,700 it is there. Okay, so execute, you may keep it, you may not keep it, but these are the stored procs which are part of your master database. You can also get lot of system stored procs and lot of extended stored procs. Okay, so extended means you have SQL code as well as your C++ code also. Let me give you couple of examples for this. Extended stored procs used to perform operations in external resources like operating system, mail server, something like this. SP name starts with k, and these stored procs part of master DB. For example, execute xp-ms version. It will read the SQL Server product info and current platform info from the registry. Registry is available is in the Windows operating system. Okay, now let me show you what is this. I am talking about extended stored procs, right? Let me give execute xp underscore ms version, ms work. Okay, this is extended stored proc. Now, when I execute it, it is clearly telling what is the product name SQL Server, what is the version, and what is the platform, what is the comment, Microsoft Corporation 64-bit, and everything. It is not available in the database, which is going to go to Windows registry, where Windows operating system is storing a lot of information. From there, this guy is going to be executing it. Clear? And this is going to be having SQL code as well as C or C++ code. The complete information it is going to be giving it to you. What is the build version? What is the original frame? Lot of things you can get it. Okay. Now let me show you some more stored procs. Now XPCMD shell, it is used to submit the command to the operating system. So I wanted to perform any kind of a command, so that is going to be, doing it. And I wanted to send a mail, XP underscore send mail, message and email. For example, I wanted to send a mail saying that, hey Bhaskar, I will not attend the class today. So I have to say the message is I will not attend the class today. Email is bhaskarjogi@gmail.com. When I send like this, the mail will reach to the Bhaskar. So you should be able to send a couple of mails from the, XP send mail. Okay, and we have one more thing, XP fixed drives. Let me show you this also. Okay, execute XP fixed, okay, drives. Okay, fixed drives will give you, okay, fixed drives will give you what is the free space in your C drive or D drive in MBs. Okay, the data I should be able to understand, because if there is no space in the C drive or D drive, I should be able to get an email as a DBA. So everything it is done with the help of extended stored proc only. You have a lot many extended stored procs. You can just Google it. You will be able to understand. Clear? And one more thing we can have, instead of C and C++ code, nowadays so people are using CLR stored procedures, CLR stored procs. Okay. If I wanted to perform very complex operation, I write the SQL code plus instead of a C++ C code, what I do, I am going to be writing a .NET code. .NET means CLR. CLR means what? Common Language Runtime. So you may have C sharp .NET code. So here you may write C sharp .NET code, or people may write VB.NET code. Okay. So instead of writing C++ code today, people can also create very complex operations. Okay. So for that purpose, you can write the SQL code as well as the .NET code also you can include. .NET is also called as a CLR, Common Language Runtime. For this purpose, you have to know C sharp .NET or VB.NET. So this code will be part of the SQL Server database only, but the .NET developer has to write the code, not the SQL developers. SQL developers can write normal stored procedures. The complex means you need to go in for today CLR stored proc. So nowadays nobody is writing C and C++ because advanced concept is that people are if they need complex operations, okay, that means people may use .NET code. Okay, so we may not use it, but we write most of the time a normal user-defined space only that we were creating. Whatever, for example, get my balance. Okay, it is a user-defined SP. Most of the time, we will be working with this only. Okay, so these are the different varieties of stored procs we have that you should be able to use it every time. Clear? So people may ask you, what are the types of the stored procs we have? We have normal stored procs, then we have system stored procs and extended stored procs and CLR, common language runtime. You need to get your .NET code and you should be able to register with the SQL server. That .NET you should be able to know. Okay, then only you can perform a .NET assemblies. You need to get it, and that you should be able to keep them over there. Clear? So that is what is the thing we should be able to do it. Okay. See, you have database mail where you should be able to send a mails and all from the database only. Okay, linked servers we have discussed, right? So these are very, very important concept that you need to know and understand. Okay, when you go to the programmability, we can create a stored procedures and functions. When you go to assemblies, this is where you have to register your assemblies. Okay, when you go down, so this is where you have to create one .NET code, and the .NET code you have to bring it here. This is a separate procedure for that. The .NET code will come here. So the .NET code you should be able to call in your stored proc so that the .NET code also can execute along with the stored proc and it can work. Okay, so but definitely you have to know .NET. So these are the types of the stored procs we have. And tomorrow we'll have exception handling. So whenever you get any kind of an error, so how do you handle the exception? So that is one more thing that we can discuss tomorrow.